Hello, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Kat. I'm Kat Sanford, the Abundance Alchemist. I am a money mindset coach and help women who say they are bad with money learn to be great with money so that they can make more, save more, and create more wealth for themselves. So I'm super excited today to welcome my guest and friend, Tricia. Tricia, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Tricia Millice. I am a wife and a mom, and I'm a habit and decluttering coach. And I help women who struggle to let go of clutter and chaos to reclaim their joy, their peace, and calm with my 3 steps to getting started with decluttering of any space or place in your life that you want to.
I love that. Welcome. I'm so glad to chat with you today. And gosh, it's January and it's time for new goal setting, new intentions, resolutions, all of those things. And yeah, money and clutter are two topics that I know are important to people right now. So we had a viewer pose a question, and the question was, excuse me, I have a little frog in my throat. The question was, after the holidays, I feel like I'm experiencing a holiday hangover when it comes to money, the money I spent on celebrating the holidays, and also clutter and creating new habits around money and simplifying things in the new year. So, can you give me a couple of tips? So, we thought we'd come together today and share a few tips. And so, as the money expert, here's a couple of things. I can certainly relate to having a holiday hangover. I actually got a pretty nasty head cold a couple of weeks, like a week and a half before Christmas. And so, what it forced me to do was rest a lot and to pause. So, some of the things that I normally do to celebrate the holidays and spend money on, I just didn't do this year. So, like, there were no Christmas cards that got sent out, no little special extra cookies for the fire department, or, maybe a gift for the hairdresser, that kind of thing. So, it really put me it was a gift from the universe because it was an opportunity to pause and ask myself, how important are these things really
Mm.
to the reason for the holiday, and then also for my enjoyment of the holiday. So I'm going to base my tips on that whole experience right there. So what that looked like for me is there was very little last minute shopping when it comes to like overspending, on creating a budget and then overspending because you are concerned that you didn't get enough gifts for a certain person or the right gift. So I'm celebrating that as a win. So anyway, if you're looking forward to how to avoid that in 2023, a couple of things I would suggest for tips is to create a budget around your spending for any major holiday. You could do this definitely for Christmas. You can even do it for birthdays throughout the year. And the way you do that is take a look at your numbers now of what you spent in 2022 on Christmas. What did you spend in on gifts? Any food purchases, decorating? Maybe you got tickets to go to a holiday concert, those kind of things. And then once you know your numbers and have the facts, you can take a look at, okay, how does this feel? Is this doable again for this year? Or there's some things that maybe I can reduce my spending or just are no longer important to me. And so that would be number one, is to look at your numbers, create a budget, and then within that also is to go ahead and create a Christmas fund. So set aside the funds, allocate a certain amount of your budget monthly to a fund, like, a holiday fund, if you will. And so that you can go imagine what it would look like this time next year where you've paid for Christmas in advance. And so there's no debt created around the celebration.
That would
So
be cool.
that would be, that's kind of all bundled into one. So really, let me recap that. It would be look at your numbers, know what you spent, um, reflect on that too. Like, why did I spend this? Would be a good exercise. That will help you create a budget, and then create a Christmas fund or holiday fund that you can put other holiday purchases in there too, so that you are, when you're ready, you've got the cash to pay for everything and you're creating zero debt. So, and then in January, you will feel great because when the credit card statement comes in, you won't be stressed out. So, that is my tip for how to avoid a holiday hangover.
I love that tip. That's a really good one. I wrote down a couple notes for myself because yes, I did the panic shopping too. So at the end, left it too long. And so yes, lots of planning for next year. But I liked looking at your numbers. That's really a great idea. And that kind of takes me into my tip when it comes to like, there's a lot of clutter that comes with holidays, more so than our regular day because there's lots of added extra stress, right, around different things. And something that you can start doing right now is maybe start meal planning. It doesn't have to be big and crazy, but once you start to practice that and get really good at it, that's something that you can take with you into the holiday meals. That if you're the one that does the cooking, if you have this great skill of planning out the meals and knowing how to shop for them, that's something that you can definitely start to use in those bigger meals. And so meal planning can be as little as plan out 3 meals for a week. Start there, start really small. So it's not so overwhelming to look at 7 different meals, because I know, especially like as a mom or someone who works full time, that can get pretty daunting sometime. And then also having that conversation about who can help with that meal planning. Plan out those 3 meals for the week where you're going to start, purchase, specifically shop for those meals, and stick to whatever prepping that you can do as soon as you come home. Get that all prepped and make it as easy as possible for you during the week, and start to go back to looking at your numbers, start to kind of compare where there may be savings in that meal planning. And then if you're going to carry that into holidays meals, and I know those are huge meals, this can be any entertaining. Also, where can you spread out that cost, right? So who can you ask to bring stuff? Potluck, or for example, New Year's Eve, we had people over and we did kind of like a fondue kind of snacky kind of night. And we also had like seafood and stuff, and it could get really expensive doing that. So we asked everybody to bring 2 to 3 things for the meal, and it really did help to spread that cost out. And then it also helped in the planning because I only had to plan a little bit, and then the other people planned the rest of it. So it came together really, really well and took a lot of the stress off too. And then just one quick tip for clutter. You can start in your kitchen when you're cooking those meals. One of my favorite tips for people is to get a donation box and put it where you can see it, especially when you're beginning, because this is a skill that you're learning. And when you're cooking and you're pulling out all your utensils and all your stuff that you need for prepping, if you see that spatula or that that flipper or whatever it is in your drawer, then you know you don't use it. It gets stuck. You know, the one that gets the drawer stuck? that's the one. Remove it, take it out, put it in the donation box, come back to what you were doing. And that's as simple as that. Eventually, it's just going to become a habit. And so the donation box can actually go into the garage or in another room where you don't have to look at it all of the time because you've got the habit, it's automatic, and you just want to keep doing it. And then you start finding yourself looking for new things to put in the donation box, right? It's like, what else can I let go of? What else can I get rid of?
I love that tip because one of the things I'm experiencing right now after the holidays, and it's not anything I was gifted or my holiday decorations really, because, well, I do have a couple of things that, like, maybe as we go into the holiday season in the fall, I might just want to sell. But I'm reorganizing things in my space, and because I had my holiday decorations out, and I'm asking myself, is like this something I still, same thing, like exactly what you said, Is this something that I really just don't need and I could gift to someone? But I've caught myself almost wanting to create a garage sale box. And we just had a successful, I think in September, we had a successful garage sale. And the little piece of me wants to have another one. But I have this like mental conversation going on about what would it look like just to take that box and make it a donation box and release it to a local charity or someone who could benefit from having those things that are really or extra things for me. And what would that do? Like, what would that space create?
Right.
So
Yeah.
just to piggyback on your tip, I absolutely love your tips, but thank you for that because it's put me into this awareness. I'm like, what would it feel like just to not like, it's that trying to make money off of our stuff kind of thing. And sometimes it's just like it frees you, especially here at the beginning of the year as you're like creating, doing things newly. I would just encourage people to be willing to just let stuff go. Let it
Exactly.
go.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially if you have the room and you're going to have that garage sale and you have the room to keep the stuff, then, go for it. Um, Most people, however, have the plan to do it and it never comes to fruition. So then this stuff just becomes more clutter and more clutter that you're just moving around. And my philosophy is it's not really about the stuff because it's really, at the end of the day, it's still just stuff. It's just stuff. It's about the meaning, the memories, the emotions, and the value that we attach to the stuff. And so when we start to see it as money, a value, or we start to see it as a piece of ourselves or a part of someone else, and when we let it go, that's where the difficulties come in. So when we just practice letting go of the things that are easy first and work your way up to the more difficult things, but just releasing it can be freeing. And that's where that calm and releasing the clutter and the chaos in your life and bringing in the calm and the peace and the joy and the freedom into your life starts to happen. And it's still a practice, right? It's something that we have to learn and give yourself credit. I mean, grace, because we're not going to be perfect at it. And if you've never been taught it before, this is just something that you need to learn, just like any other new skill. And so, of course, you're going to fall back and you're going to go forward. I'm sure just the same as with financial money management and money mindset, the same things.
Yeah, absolutely. Because especially in relation to the holidays and how we feel after the holidays moving into January, um, if you don't have a plan, it's so easy just to continue to do the same habits because you've always done things, that way, or you think that you should, you're on autopilot, that type of thing. And so if you find yourself at the end of, the holiday season thinking, here I am yet again, another year, and I have these feelings of overwhelm or stress because, I didn't say no, or I did this or didn't do that, then there's hope for you. Just, try our tips out and
There
see
is,
how
there's hope.
see how it
Yep.
works for you. So yeah.
Yeah.
Tricia, do you have anything to add in closing?
I would just like to kind of add that, lots of us, especially this time of year, have made New Year's resolutions or set some goals that we want to get to. And when I speak about giving ourselves grace, oftentimes when we're trying to create a new habit around the goal that we want to get to, when that habit's not working and it gets hard and we fall back to the old way or the old habit, we tend to think, the goal's done, I can't do this, and we quit. When in reality, it's probably just a little bit more tweaking on how to make the habit work for you instead of you working for the habit, because you want that habit to turn into that automatic thing that you don't have to think about. And so you have to figure out how that's going to work for you. And just because it didn't work the first time doesn't make the goal not worth going for. It just means that you need to reevaluate how you do the habit and what it is you want to do.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for that. So, and I know that you have a Facebook group. Can you tell our viewers the name of that? That might be a place that they might want to come connect with you.
Sure, I do. It's called The Habit of Organizing. And my business is called Clutter to Clarity. And basically, this is all about women, helping women, supporting women to have those breakthroughs and learn how to let go and release clutter and chaos in their lives.
Awesome. So check out The Habit of Organizing. And if you're looking for inspiration and tips regarding money mindset, money management strategies, my Facebook group is called Money Matters with Kat. So come find us both on social media platforms, and we'd love to connect with you and support you. So thank you for stopping in and checking out our video. And Tricia, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to just chat with you and to share our hearts and to share our knowledge. So thanks for
Yeah.
joining me
Thanks.
today.
Thanks for having me, Kat. I appreciate it. It was really fun.